Hi Aries, welcome to the Modern Spiritualist. My name is Raheem. I'm going to do a tarot pull for the month of May 2020 for Aries Sun, Moon, and Rising. So if you know your sun sign and it's Aries, you're in the right place. If you know your moon and your rising signs, make sure to look for those as well. It'll give you more insight into the month of May 2020. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the cards and we'll get started. Okay. Do this over. Okay. So you've got the Seven of Swords for the heart of the matter, Aries. Theme running through the month. Crossing you, we've got the Page of Wands. I like how the cards kind of glow in this light, although you probably can't see it very well, so... Oh well. Recent past, we've got the... Was this the Knight? Yeah, the Knight of Pentacles. New circumstance, we've got the Emperor, which is great. That's your card, Aries. It's your energy. In your foundation, we have got the... It came out reversed, but I want to read it direct. I don't know. Four of Wands. Crowning you. We've got the Two of Wands. It's another... This is a Aries and Mars energy. Another Aries energy. Your attitude, we've got the Two of Swords. For your environment, we've got the Eight of Swords. Ooh. Alright. Second Aries. Okay. The position of your fears, we've got the Six of Cups and the Knight of Cups. So now we got two Knights in the deck. Or in the spread already. And outcome, we've got the Eight of Wands. Very springy kind of energy overall that I'm feeling, which is great. It doesn't feel springy in like an overly energetic kind of way. It just feels really, I don't know, like springtime, springy. I don't know. Ready to go, which is not unusual for your sign. Okay, so give me just a second. Yeah, this feels breezy. So coming up in your theme running through the month, we've got the Seven of Swords. I feel like you're strategizing here, Aries. I get the sense that you're just putting everything in place. You know what you're doing. You're strategizing well, and you're kind of like, okay, these are all the resources I have. These are all the ways that I can get from point A to point B, and this is how I'm going to utilize them so that I can just kind of shoot straight. So this is getting a really good energy from this. I get the sense that you guys know what you're doing and you're just going for it. In just a really planned out, strategic, precise kind of way. Crossing you, we've got the Page of Wands, and I'm going to read this in the reversed. I just get the sense that there's this fire within you, um, and it's ready to express itself. But it's still sort of a seed at this time. It's like this ember, and you're going to be stoking this fire throughout the month. Um, I get a very internal energy from this. That's all I'm really getting from the reversal is you're feeling something rising up within you that is not yet ready to express itself, but will eventually, and that's kind of why you're putting all these things in place, because you feel this passion and this motivation and this idea kind of driving you. In your recent past, we've got the Knight of Pentacles, and this is kind of like a short and steady wins the race kind of energy. So this is where you have been. You have been taking slow and steady steps to get to where you want to go, and you're being diligent and you're being grounded. I get the sense that you're heading towards something really tangible for you, Aries, which is great. Um, and this is really a good energy for you guys to lead into because you guys are such a fast-paced energy. So tapping into that Pentacles energy of kind of taking a step back, going at a slower pace so that you can like dot all your T's and cross all your. I always say that, dot all your I's and cross all your T's, so that what you do will be sustaining and lasting for you. So that's great. That's great. In your foundation, we've got the Four of Wands. I do get sort of like it's like a fireplace energy from this, sort of like being in the glow and the warmth of home. So maybe you're just very driven by maybe the parts of, this quarantine and this social distancing going on, the parts of that are fueling you positively. Um, Maybe you've come to some realizations while you've been in quarantine, and maybe some of this passion that's coming out of you now is sort of like an indication of maybe there's a change in you, or you're realizing what you're really doing this all for. Um, like something, I think maybe in your relationships for many of you has like clicked in place for you. Home life, maybe you're thinking about what you do want to cultivate and build within the context of your home and family life. It just feels really warm in like a really cozy kind of way. And that's what's driving you this month. Crowning you, we've got the Two of Wands reversed. Just don't get ahead of yourself. And this is what you're thinking about. So, you may already know, but I'll repeat it for you if that's the case. Don't get too ahead of yourself and do too much too fast, so that what you end up doing, like I said before, with this, Knight of Pentacles energy being kind of a slow and steady pace, make sure that you're leaning into this energy so that you achieve sustainable results. Because the passion is so strong, there might be a sense of I just want to do it all right now, right? So this is kind of asking you to make sure you take a step back, so that you're taking care of everything as it needs to be in its fullest potential along the way. Okay, so that's great. New circumstance, we've got the Emperor, which is, like I said, your energy. This is you in your power. This is you having dominion over your life. This is you maybe being in a leadership role, if not actually for anyone else, but for yourself, like self-trust, making good, solid decisions for yourself, and trusting 100% in what you are doing. So that's great. In the position of your attitude, we've got the Two of Swords, which I don't always read. Many readers do, but I don't always read this card as like you have a decision to make, but I am actually getting that this month. Like there actually may be a decision for you to make. So if that comes up for you, lean into the Emperor energy, because this is your decision maker. And as long as you lean into this, you'll make the decision that is best for you. So just trust yourself, whatever this is. Trust yourself because it may not be. It could be like two job offers or something like that, where either one's good. Like there's no like wrong answer. You just got to go with the one that you really feel is going to be the best fit for you, whatever this decision is. Um, and this can happen with the Two of Wands as well. Sometimes the Two of Wands can come with a decision. So this may be an indication for some of you that you are clashing these decisions together a little bit. Like you may be worried about making the wrong decision, or you may be like really mentally trying to battle them. So if you're doing that, if you're mentally battling, I would do your best to get in touch with your inner self and your intuition and things like that, and find a quiet meditative space for you to actually feel into what you want. Because I don't think the mental clashing, like rational mental energy, is going to get you what you need from this. I think you're going to have to go with your gut a little bit. In the position of your environment, we've got the Eight of Swords. You may be feeling a little bit trapped, which with the quarantine going on right now, I know that we're all starting to feel restless, and you're one of the most, actionable signs that really want to go out and do things, and so I really feel you here. If you feel restless, which can come with this Two of Wands reverse energy as well, I would just encourage you to do what you can with it. Like, use the resources that you do have and be like, okay, I'm going to go for a social distancing run. I'm going to even jog in place in the backyard or in your own house, or just do exercises creatively or physically or whatever that will really get your blood pumping, because you don't want to trap yourself if you're feeling too stir crazy. Get creative with what you can do to help with that. It's not a perfect situation, and I think that's why some of us get a little paralyzed, because we're like, oh, well, I can't do the things that I don't, or I can't do the things that I want to do, so I'm just not going to do anything. Try not to get into that mindset. Try to just be like, try to show up in a way where you're like, I'm doing what I can. I'm making the best of a weird situation, right? So in the position of what you fear, we've got the Knight of Cups and, yes, the Knight of Cups and the Six of Cups. Some of you may be having tension with your family and your home, which is really normal when you're trapped in a space with people, right? Like, it's a lot easier when you can walk out the door and take a walk, go out, change the scene, and, not be around people for hours and hours and days on end. For most of us, a lot of us, that's kind of not the case right now. So you may be kind of fearing the way, just showing up in your home and family environment and playing nice, because, the egos just do. They just naturally start to clash after a while. The things that are little things to us become big things because we can't escape them. And try your best to show up in a vulnerable way where you're really expressing, even if it's like you're doing this thing and it's making me really angry, be like, I feel angry, because this, and this. And try to show up in the most vulnerable way as possible. Like, don't accuse anyone of anything, but if you can be like, these are my feelings about something, and don't make it like their issue, but just make it like in the softest way possible. Hey, can you help me? Can we collaborate on how to compromise on whatever is upsetting you? Which is a big ask. Like, showing up in that way can be really, really difficult, especially depending on the people you're dealing with, and like the skills that we have to do that, because we don't all have the interrelational skills to have that conversation, and we've never really been challenged in this way before, many of us. You know what I mean? But just try your best. It doesn't have to be perfect, but try to get what you need out of your space right now, and try to do it in a way to where you're not creating more conflict than is necessary, I guess. Try to be vulnerable because people are more responsive to that than accusatory kind of tactics. That's just how people are. So try it, and it may be scary, and try it anyway. Um, it's paired with the King of Cups. Yeah, this is just going back to what I'm saying about this card. Get in touch with your true feelings about everything that's going on, because that's going to be the tactic that you need to use with the people in your life. And you may also be worried here that you're just like not having fun, or like upset that you're not having fun. You're not out doing stuff, and you may just be bored and stir crazy and uninspired even at some point in all those you know things that we deal with. So try to do what you can to keep stoking your fire. You've got a lot of fire right now. I know you do. We've got all these fiery energies here. So do what you can to stay in touch with that and have fun. Even if it's video games with a headset on with your friends, or like Zoom parties. You know what I mean? Streaming parties. There's a lot of like artists right now that are like still streaming the concerts, and a lot of them, they're free. Um, I went out stargazing the other night. Just get creative. Um, you can always find ways to have fun, even with limited means. Kids do it all the time. Um, but back to this getting in touch with your true feelings thing here. This may be terrifying for some of you right now to do, because a lot of us are having a lot of feelings. I mean, this pandemic, living in a pandemic time like that, it's a traumatic experience. We all, experience it to varying degrees, but it is a trauma for a lot of people. And coping with trauma often just involves, in the moment, a lot of us just kind of numb out, or um, try to control the environment we're in, because the anxiety response can kind of trigger like if I just control everything that is in my space right now, like I'll be okay. But then that can kind of uh, become compulsive almost. I see that a lot. I either see this like numbing out, or this like compulsive activity kind of energy. And so maybe notice the ways that you're coping, and then see. I mean, if you can see if there's sort of a deeper, see what the root really is. Like, what is the fear that's generating whatever behavior it is, and how can you soothe it, in like a direct way. Um, and then this may help you show up with everybody else, because you have more clarity. You have more clarity with yourself, and that may be terrifying for some of you. So don't go past your threshold. Don't do more than you can handle. But if you think that you're up to exploring yourself a little more deeply during this time, then go for it. I think these are both in the upright, so I think that it's a challenge that you can do, even though it's scary. Um, the outcome energy is the Eight of Wands, so it looks like you're going to figure something out here. You're going to figure something out that opens a pathway forward for you, which kind of comes back to me, the Eight of Wands and the Seven of Swords are kind of reflecting each other. The Seven of Swords is like a very mental energy of like, okay, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this. They're all aligned. We're going. And then the Eight of Wands is kind of like the fire behind that. The creativity behind that. If this is, okay, logically, these are all the points I need, the creativity comes in to kind of facilitate that, in a way that works in the moment, whatever the moment brings. Because if we're too rigid in our planning, any little thing that gets in our way that we didn't account for, now the plan's kind of out of commission, right? And then Eight of Swords with no plan, it can be really scattered. But I'm not getting that from you. I'm getting this like beautiful synthesis of like logic and creativity that's getting you exactly where you need to go. And I think moving through some of this stuff, like this fear, these deep emotions that may be coming up for you, I think it's going to really connect you with why you're doing what you're doing, and how you're going to do it, and it will help you bring clarity to your situation. So this outcome energy is great. I even, for some of you, I see like multiple routes forward, which also comes in. I think the Two of Wands and um, the Two of Wands and the Two of Swords. You When this stuff opens up for you, it may end up being like, okay, now there's so many ways that I can go, and they all sound great, right? So, which is amazing as long as you don't have like analysis paralysis about it, right? Just kind of go with your gut, be creative, experiment, see what you can get out of this, because you're definitely moving forward this month. You're moving forward in a really good way. So I think that's all I have for you guys. I hope that this helped. I hope you guys have a great month, and I hope to see you next time.